Just look on the bright side of life.
If another offer comes in, it doesn't matter because they're committed to each other. You guys follow that? So we're going to talk to you for a minute around commitment. Now we know personally that our sellers that we work with in Arizona are committed to us. We actually charge an upfront fee. We have the ability to do that in Arizona. Some of you in your states don't, okay? I'm going to encourage you, if you can do that in your state, to consider it. The point of the upfront fee is not to take advantage of people. That's not what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to gain their commitment. And what I've learned with working with distressed homeowners is that sometimes their emotions fluctuate and change on a daily basis. And one day they need your help, and then the next day they're mad at you and you're the worst person on the face of the earth. And it's just something you have to deal with when you're working with distressed homeowners. So we charge an upfront fee to gain commitment from the seller. On the buyer end, Kevin,
this is my favorite.
Would you like to share how we gain commitment from the buyer?
Absolutely, guys. And Fred and I tossed around a few ideas, and we thought of this months before we implemented it. But we decided that we're going to start asking, and actually our sellers are asking, for commitment from the buyers in the form of non-refundable earnest money for 90 days. Because we feel that we can have any deal approved within 90 days. 60 to 90 days is what it takes for us to get a short sale approved. So it looks like...
Just to clarify, we thought about that in August of 2008.
We thought of that in like July of 2008, and we implemented it in September of 2008 because we couldn't wrap our heads around it for a few months. But eventually we got tired of losing offers on deals that we were getting approved, and the buyers were never there when we had the approval letter. So we got tired of it, and we changed that in September of 2008. And it was, if I could point back to the single best thing that we've done from a production standpoint, that was it. Right there is implementing a non-refundable earnest money for the first 90 days. Because what that does is that completely enrolls that buyer. We were a little worried that the selling agent or the buyer's agent wouldn't like it, but what we found instantly is that we were getting thank yous from the selling agent or the buyer's agent saying, hey, thank you. Now I don't have to go show more homes in 3 or 4 weeks to this person who, it's my client who I've already been working with for a month, who's getting a little antsy. I get to remind him or her that, hey, we're committed here. These guys are going to get the job done. Give me 90 days.
So let me explain that to you guys. As we said, we have a documented process for our seller and for a buyer's agent. So when a buyer's agent comes to our listing, we're not just saying, hey, blindly, we'd like your buyer to put up non-refundable earnest money and trust us. That's not what we're saying. We're explaining to them that we have a process, that we have experience, and we have results, and that our seller has committed to our system. They're still the homeowner, so they still make the decision on offers. But to work with us, they committed to our system, and our system is that we only fully execute one contract, and that only one contract is presented to the bank. Okay? So the buyer, in our contract language, the contract language states that the buyer is to deposit, in our situation, we require them to deposit $1,000 of non-refundable earnest money. That earnest money is held at the title company or the third-party company for attorney, whatever that looks like in your state. And that earnest money is non-refundable again for 90 days. So what we've done is 30 days in, the buyer starts getting antsy and now wants to go out and look at homes. Their buyer's agent has the ability to say, hey, gently remind them, hey, we committed to this transaction. We need to wait the full 90 days and give them the time frame. So I can tell you right now that there's going to be people that go, well, I don't want to do that. I don't think it would work in my market. We were the first people to bring it to our market. I don't know if other people were doing it in other markets at the time. It was something we thought of. But I can tell you it's been the single greatest thing that we've implemented in our business to normalize the transaction and make sure that expectations were clear across the board.
And really quickly, let me add in, not only are we getting commitment from the buyer, and we already talked about getting commitment from the seller, but we're going to also put this in contract form for the buyer. So in Arizona, the short sale addendum states that the seller has the right to send multiple offers to the bank. We know through practice that that only hurts the process. So with that line, those lines are striped in our short sale addendum, saying that the seller will not send other offers until this offer is either disqualified itself or the buyer has backed out or the deal hasn't been approved. So we're literally giving it the protection there. The buyer and seller know that they're committed to each other. They're committed to the end result of a closed transaction.
I just read at least one person's mind in the audience. There might have been multiple people. But some people are sitting here and they're actually saying right now, Kevin, I can just hear it. They're going, but that's not fair. What if a higher offer comes in later?
We can get into more Q&A and the negotiations, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't care. And what I mean by I don't care is I know that when I accept an offer, And we're going to go into this a little bit further, so stick with us.
Well, let me can I say it politically correct way before you just
No, I'm not in the politically correct.
Oh, okay.
When I accept an offer, guys, it's what I believe is a better option for the bank over foreclosure. I truly, truly believe that on every single offer that we've ever accepted, from the time we took our first listing to the 240, 250 deals we've closed and the 100 we've listed now, that is what I believe on every single offer we've ever taken. That is the best alternative. Now you can say it.
Understand, guys, homeowner owns the property. Bank is not a party of the transaction. So for those of you that are concerned, oh, but that's not being fiduciary responsible to the bank. It doesn't matter.
That's
You guys follow that?
By the way.
Yeah, I just blah 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 that. I have no idea what that word even is or how it's spelled fiduciary. The idea though is you have a fiduciary to your client and you have an agency relationship to the homeowner, your client. You don't have fiduciary or agency to the bank. So the bank can never tell you that you have to submit all offers to them. They don't have the right to do that. They don't own the property. The only thing the bank has the right to do is say yes to your short sale offer or say no to your short sale offer. That's where their limitation remains.
Despite what they may think and despite what you've been told by a mitigator or anybody else that you've talked to or other agents, the bank does not own the property. The seller has a contractual option to not make payments, and the recourse for that is they lose the property, and in some states there's a deficiency.
Well, you actually just said the seller has a contractual option.
They have a contractual option to not make payments, and when that occurs, I'll just say that again, the bank can take the property back. And if the seller in the meantime goes out and finds a buyer via an agent, and they present an offer to the bank only, and I mean only has the right to say yes or no. And it's our job to present to them that it's a better numbers game for them. Math, you guys, short sales are math problems. They're not word problems.
Write that one down, guys. Short sales are math problems.
So many of us get caught up in the word problem or like the hardship or all the circumstances out there. And I'm not saying that doesn't matter at all, because we're dealing with people going through a really tough time in their life and they're trusting us to help them. So I'm not saying that doesn't matter. But it's up to you to get this transaction closed. And if you focus on the word problem or the hardship or anything like that, then you're going to not be focused on the math problem. And the math problem is what people approve. I promise you, when you speak to an executive level or even an upper level management at a bank, somebody who actually has the ability to approve a deal, they're not looking at the hardship letter, guys. They're going, does this make sense for me? Do I make more money on this if I approve the short sale, or would I make more money if I took it back? And that's the bottom line.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up the contract conversation by saying this. You've got to be absolutely confident that the offer that you are encouraging your seller to fully execute is a savings over foreclosure. Does that make sense? And it's really not as hard as a lot of people think. If the offer is fair market value, if it's the highest and best offer that you can get in your market within a 30 or 60 day time frame, then it's better than foreclosure. The idea is that the bank takes the home back, they incur lots of costs, they have time value of money, they have lots of other things on the table. It's really not that complicated. So I'm not gonna, we can go deep on that conversation, but literally Kevin and my process when an offer comes in
it's highly technical.
Is, hey, do you think that this is an offer that's better than foreclosure and that we can confidently take to the bank and get approved?
Well, what are we listed at right now?
We're listed at 150 and the offer's at 145. The home's been on the market for 3 weeks. We've had a combined total of 8 showings, so not a lot. So it tells me we still may be a little overpriced on it.
Do they want contributions? Or
No, it's a beautiful no.
You know what? That's the savings over foreclosure. Let's do it.
It literally is that simple, guys. And we said this yesterday, but you're the expert in your market. The bank's not the real estate expert, you are. So you've got to be confident in knowing that the offers that you're receiving on your listings are good offers or they're not. And it really is that simple when it comes to accepting an offer. But hear me out. I'm never going to send an offer to the bank and think to myself, oh, I hope the bank accepts this offer. I hope the bank accepts this offer. It's not an Outback mindset. You guys, can you hear the difference? I'm saying I am confident that this is the best offer the bank's ever going to see, that this is going to be better for them than foreclosure, and I'm going to fight till the ends of the earth to make sure they think that and they agree with me. It's not really negotiation with the bank, it's absolutely conviction and convincing them that this is a good offer over foreclosure.
Always look on the bright